prolific, so gifted. I'm the type that's gon' go get it. No kidding.
Hey guys, it's C with Coin Traders, and it is Friday, March 30th, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I thought I'd do a little video, as I haven't done one in a week, of some technical analysis just to see where Bitcoin may be headed, as it's been breaking down since our levels in the last video. We did have a bullish flag in the last video, but it failed and it started to break down, and we're nearing the lows of 6,800 or so. Right now I have it on LITECOIN, so let's go ahead and do a little analysis on LITECOIN. As you can see on this 4-hour chart, we are still in this this downtrending wedge formation, and we have broken this major line of support. I was hoping for a bounce at that point in time, but as traders, we shouldn't hope. So I did actually try to buy some under here to look for a possible tail on a daily chart, and then maybe an extension up, but it failed miserably. As you can tell, it broke down right here, came up, retested that main trend line right here, and then it just started to pretty much sell off. Now we're getting near that old line of support around the 101, which was that retest, which is kind of like a retest of this low on the daily, which was held back in February 3rd. So this could start to form a double bottom, as we don't know quite yet. I did add some A, B, C, D paths just to kind of see the whole outcome. I was doing this, and there's like a 40-point range between each one. So if anything, we should get a nice little bounce to around 135 to 140 in possibly the next 3 to 4 days. I won't predict anything as of yet, but we are kind of oversold, and we are due for a bounce, and we are at these support levels. So we could see a little extension down further to the 101 to the 94. And if we really want to sell off with Bitcoin, then we could be looking at lower prices down to the 80. I also do have this downtrend channel. As you can see, the downtrend channel would have this go to around $0. Could this happen? Yeah, it could. I didn't honestly think we could get this low again. I did kind of presume that we might retest the lows for a double bottom. I've said that in past videos, so we could be looking at a double bottom. I just haven't seen the volume, the buy volume, come in even like last time. See how all the green candles stacked up? We just haven't seen that yet right here. So maybe in the next next few 4-hour sessions to a day or two, we might see some green buying coming in on that spot. So as of right now, we're trading at 114, and we did get this bounce overnight all the way to 126, and it got rejected at this ATR trailing stop, and we're still trading underneath this 4-hour midline bully band. So until we can reconquer this 128 and eventually the 147, 150, which is that mainline resistance now. It used to be mainline support. It is now major resistance. So we kind of need to break back out of this channel, get over the 150 mark to really regain some momentum to the bull side. Bears do want to see this drop a lot lower. I think a good buy would be around the 80. Could this get to 60? It could. Anything's possible in this crypto world. So those are the levels kind of to watch for Litecoin. If we don't get a nice double bounce bottom off this line and it continues lower, then look for around 76 to $80 for a buy. Let's move on to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is trading at 6,684. A while ago, I had this 666 level, the mark of the beast level to watch for a possible bounce buy. I think it was back here at the time. Actually, this number plays in a lot of markets, like a psychological number per se. I've seen this happen with Google, Amazon, and I know we're talking about coin currency and not stocks, but algorithms tend to like this number, so I've been looking at this number for a bounce, and so far we haven't really seen that bounce. The MACD is still trending down, and the volume has picked up on the sell level. We did get some buys around that level last night that propelled it from 666 to 7,253, and we did break this overall main uptrend line of support. So unless we can regain our momentum back up it looks like we have further to fall. If I do stretch out this channel a little bit, we possibly could get to the 6,000, let's say 200 level. So the 6,200 level, watch that level of support. We are very much oversold in my opinion, but that doesn't mean we can't go further down. So watch for those levels. Bulls definitely need it to get back over that 7,000 and then get past this midline bully, which is still looking very bearish on the 4 hour. It's starting to point down, and it's got this natural curvature to it that really wants to propel it lower. So we could see a capitulation process here either today, tomorrow, or very soon if we cannot get a bounce around these levels. So bulls look for it to go over 7,000, then 7,300, which would be the ATR, and it'll probably coincide with the middle line Bollinger Band. And then eventually we do need to get back over that $7,900 to $8,000 level and actually hold. We could see a bounce to that level probably fairly soon, but we do need it. We do need things to get this bully to kind of turn up and then, blast off and kind of follow it up and actually break out over this line. So there's a lot of work to do for bulls, and I'm not seeing the momentum come in. As far as we could fall, there is talk of it going down to 1,500, 3,000. If I put it to the daily, let's just look at the daily real quick, and I stretch it back. We are underneath that trend line support from what I had just shown you. The daily MACD still looks down, and I'm not seeing a lot of buying, just selling. So maybe we'll see some buying come in soon. If I do put a trend line from this low, this is the $5,000 range that people are talking about from this breakout, from this cup back in September 9/10. So it popped out around 10/10, which is October. So maybe October 10th was the breakout. So we could revisit those lows. That's if this $6,000 does not want to hold for a double bottom, which Litecoin is nearing a double bottom also. So we just got to see before we get too bearish on if this double bottom will hold. As of right now, I just see a lot of selling pressure. There's not really a whole lot of buying going on. There's some nibbles in the last few days or so because this is the daily. Let me just stretch it out. As you can see, we're underneath that trend line right here, that yellow trend line that goes way back. So If we can't get back above that $7,000 range, I'm afraid Bitcoin's going to go a little further lower. This would be the double bottom right here to the tail of the $6,000 mark. So if it wants to go and test that 6,000, that's where it could be headed. It could shoot a tail out here. I don't know if enough buyers will step in there, but I'm sure we'll see a bounce as we're really close. We're only $700 away from it. So if we don't bounce here and get back over this trend line, then look for 6,000, 5,000, and then let's just go back and see if that 5,000 level does cave in. Then there is another support level around the 3,000 of right here. So those are the levels to watch. Do I think it gets to 3,000? No, not necessarily. It could turn around where we are right now, kind of just fake people out as it broke that trend line that's pointing up. But if that 5,000 gives out, then we'll probably see a lot of buyers step in around the 3,000, which is this first flag breakout from last year. So it is a possibility that we do see that. I'm not going to put anything off the table, as those are all levels of support that we need to watch. That 5,000, and this is exactly these are great numbers to kind of go off of. So watch that 5,000. If that gives out, then we're definitely going to head to that 3,000. Also, let's see, this would coincide that number, just like 666. I'm gonna here put up a number to watch too that I think is definitely a possibility. Let me just write this real quick. This is the number we'll probably watch if that 5,000 breaks. I don't know why it's not showing up. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just, since we're already past that 6,000, I'm just going to put this up because if we do start to see a capitulation process, this number right here would play into it just like the 666 would. These are just numbers that algorithms and markets do like to tend to bounce off of or hold levels of support. And the last 10 years that I've been trading and doing market analysis, I've seen these levels really hold. So look for that 3333 to kind of be a major level of support. I think so many people look at the $3,000 level. If it does get there, that it'll bounce before, and that 3333 I bet you will bounce almost to a T. So I'm not trying to predict it. I'm just stating that is a major number. So look for that type of bounce. I did call the 666 number, and I believe on Binance and a couple other ones it did hit the 666.66 to perfection. I called it out on Stock Twits like maybe a month or maybe about 3 months ago, actually, when we started this downtrend. So let's see, back in when we were up at like $12,000, I called it. So around January 22nd, I called it. And you could actually go on there and check out Altcoin Traders. I have it on there. But anyhow, look for those to hold. If this 666 does hold for at least a nice bounce, look for those levels that I did show you, as those are major levels, and we do need to get that bully to get back trending up. I don't know if any news or events this weekend. I do know a lot of like beta testing and a lot of different access to news related to different coins and businesses are coming out this month. So it could be a little drive of some news related bouncing happening this month. We might just be trending sideways to down for a little time and then see a major breakout towards the end of the year. So those are things we're going to keep a lookout. Let's go to Ethereum. as we're way down below support, and I'm in awe how far this has actually gone. I mean, if you started to buy these dips real early, I mean, you got caught off guard for sure. I mean, we do know that these are volatile markets, trading in cryptocurrency, and these altcoins are very volatile, but these have just been straight downtrend. They almost remind me of penny stocks, how penny stocks will just fly up, give you the gains, and then you got to get out quick, or you got to put a heavy short on. So the people that shorted these at the tops are doing really good, especially the ones that have held. As you can see, we're trading at 376. We had this upline support that tested the low back on February 5th, breakdown right around the 660. We were looking at this level right here for a double bottom around 567. It started to put a head and shoulders pattern in, I believe right here. If I was on the hour or something, it would look a little different, but there was a right shoulder ahead, and I stated it in a video. We also had this bounce, and it looked like it was just consolidating into a bull flag, but obviously the bull flag failed. It went to test this 440 level that was a major level of support that I was even looking at to buy. I believe I bought, and then I had to get rid of it because I stopped out. But those were major levels that actually fell apart, and now we're trading a lot lower, especially with this Bitcoin sell-off. So I do think we are oversold, but in this crypto market, nothing is really oversold until buyers actually step in and say this is the price. So right now, if I go back to this level, there's a little flag that we're at right here at the 376, 379. There's some support here. Let's see if we go back a little bit further. Let's just see. So there is kind of this level of support we're trading at right now around the 375, and it kind of would coincide with how much how long we've gone. This was kind of like a double cup breakout right here. If you see the cup right here, and then it started to break out. So there is some support here. Let me just do a couple more lines while you guys are with me. I'm just trying to see where this possibility of this could be headed, especially if Bitcoin goes lower. Now, if I just drew this line of support right here, I have a feeling it's going to bounce right there. I do. I believe it's going to bounce right on this line right here, 333. Look at that, another 333 number. Let me put that on the chart. I really do think this number right here is going to play a big role. If it does not bounce with Bitcoin right here, or if we get some sort of small bounce of something, I have a major feeling that it is going to go right to that 333, and it kind of coincides with this level of support that I have drawn across the tops from the original breakout double bull. So look at that, how fancy, 333. We were just talking about that on Bitcoin, so possibly this could be Ethereum's bounce level at 333. So I'm going to say that might be a good buy, as we are oversold. So look for that level. If it does not hold, then we might even go lower. We could go as far as 100. I've heard 200. There is some support around 131 and 200 levels. So let me just draw those while you guys are on here. So here is some levels of support, just so we could see. Could it go down this far? Of course. If you're new to altcoins, then you would have never believed that these things would sell off this low, but anything is possible in the altcoin game, crypto craze. So look for that 333. If it breaks that, then we do see some support at 200. If it wants to get really nasty, 124, all those are great buys, I would think, for the future for holders. So look for those levels. Bulls want to see it get back over this line around 4. Let's get it up to over 470, depending how wide this wants to travel. If it does want to bounce, say right here, and it goes up here, then it's going to need to get over that 520 if we're looking at, let's see, May. If it travels sideways till May, then it definitely need to get over that 520 as of today. And by, let's see, April 12th, it would need 468. So it just depends how wide this wants to chop before it pops back over. That's if these levels hold. If not, look for that 333, the 200, and the 100. Let's do another one. Neo, man, was looking so good a couple months back. Let me just erase that. And all of a sudden, just this market has just been atrocious. I even had a moon here because it was like ready to moon right here once it got over that level. I mean, it was just making a nice double cup with a handle, and it was ready to pop. It just looked so ready, and then just sold off and has been heading down and down and down and down. And then just recently, let me just scale in so you can see, just recently it had popped out when Bitcoin had bounced and the whole market kind of took an oversold bounce, and then has just been in this this downtrend channel or bull flag, and then it just kind of just dropped down to a double bottom at 49 as of today, and kind of stuck some tails in there. There was a little buying. Let's zoom in real quick just to see these last couple. This is the 4 hour. So if I expand this out, we are still in this like consolidation channel, which they're just buying it up, in my opinion, even though there's a lot of selling. You know, the market isn't always what it seems, if that makes sense. It's kind of a figment of your imagination. They like to do things opposite to kind of make you think otherwise. So you got to have kind of a good perspective of like psychology to attack these markets. Like, why is it selling off? It's selling off, in my opinion, because the big dogs, some hedge funds that are new into cryptocurrency, are buying these up from suckers that are selling for so cheap, and then they're just gonna blast it one day. They're just gonna fling these cryptocurrencies up so high in one day that you won't even be able to get in, because it'll just launch like it did back in November. So as of right now, though, we are kind of putting in a double bottom. Will it hold? I'm unsure, as everything could go to zero and we could drop down further. It did break that line, so until we see this get back above the channel of 56, and then if I extend this channel out, it's not going to be exact, let's say 69 to 74, then we could try to get back to those old highs of 95 and higher. We are just at support right now with oversold markets, so look for Neo to bounce, but it definitely needs to get out of this channel and over the ATR of the $55 level. So look for that in the coming hours to days. Let's do a couple other ones. Let's do Iota just real quick to see where these are headed. Iota was making a nice inverse head and shoulders. On the last video we had talked about, some volume came in, we had a nice run, and then just made this flag pattern again, which is just kind of consolidating like a lot of these other ones, waiting for Bitcoin to find a footing. It's kind of making a double bottom with a flag. If it can hold these levels, then we could see it potentially bounce higher, you know, from here. It was making an inverse head and shoulders. There was the head, there was a shoulder, and it was right here, but then decided to sell off. So right now it's trading at $1.07. In recent news, I've seen a lot of deals being made with Iota, so this is definitely one to watch in my opinion. I did some levels a while ago on the Fibonacci's, and I believe it went all the way up to $24 at the highest fib line, which is kind of like a market prediction type fib. It would be. So, look for Iota. I am building positions around the dollar levels. I think these are good positions. Could it go lower? Of course. It would definitely have to break this dollar level, and then let me go to the daily just to see if it did break that. Then we could see some support around the 69 cents level. This support right here from this recent flag is at the dollar level, and it's kind of been bouncing on it for a double bottom, maybe a triple, you could say. Usually you like to see 3 bottoms and then a pop-up. So if this fails right here, then if this fails and breaks down, then you could see some real low prices for Iota. There's really just no volume stepping in, which is not a good sign in my opinion. So some news has to hit, or something has to happen to these markets in the next couple days, in my opinion. But usually once it tests again, and if it can't hold, the third test usually breaks down. So are we going to see lower prices, or is this a third bottom? If it can't break down on this 3, the theory is that when 1, 2, 3, if it can't break down on the third, then it starts to head up and has to break out. So bulls want to see it get past this $1.50, this $1.45 to $1.50 level for Iota to kind of break out. If not, your next support level is around this 69 to 70 cents, which also would be kind of the bull level right here, as you can see. So if it does, that line's a little crooked, but it goes to about 67 cents. So if it does break down, look for 67 cents Iota. I do believe that it's going to fail right here, as the market is just oversold. So in my opinion, everything's going to take a nice bounce here in the next day or two. So look for everything to bounce. Let's do Ripple, as Ripple is just breaking down lower and lower and lower, just like everything else. So as you can see, we broke down the trend line. It did look bullish for a while as it stopped here, broke out, and it consolidated. We are at the bottom of this channel, and we are out of support, which is not really that good for Ripple. Next level of support is looking like, let's see, we were right at it. 46 cents would be the top of this right here. So there is some support. See, this went up, hit the resistance way back when, and this is now support around the 45 to 46 cent level. If it wants to get really low, we could come back down to the 28 to, let's see, 29 to 31 cent level. So as of right now, the 45 cent level, which coincides with this top right here, is some support that we could say holds. So we're looking at some support for a lot of these cryptos. So I would expect a bounce. I can't rule out more of a capitulation, but I can't rule out a bounce. I think these things are going to blast real soon and just surprise everybody. So from a technical perspective, though, everything's looking kind of like on support. So we'll have to see in the next couple days. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do, actually, I'll do 2 more. I'm going to go to ADA first, as I like this one for the future, and we did see a lot of buying recently. As you can see in these 4-hour bars, you can see almost more buying in this than a lot of them. These were from before the breakout retest level, and support floor is where it went last time. Let me stretch this out so you can see it. It's trading at 13 cents. It did put a nice reversal wick right here a couple, maybe about 2 weeks ago, as this is the daily, and we did plan to buy under this 13-cent support floor level. So we were buyers right here, and it went all the way to the ATR. It actually broke out of this long consolidation flag that was going on for a while. Actually, if I stretch this out, it would be a long time downtrend channel, and it actually broke out, retested it, but it's just been consolidating down this channel almost like a bull flag, but we are still in a downtrend. It could be we're kind of at support around this 13-cent level. If Bitcoin breaks down more, then we could be looking at 10 cents, which is the major support floor. So if it breaks down any further, it could go down to 10 cents. I don't see it going past that, but this is cryptos, and we'll take a look at it when the time comes. But as you can see from back then, 10 cents, it might put some tails down all the way down to, 8 pennies. So you could put some buys in at 8 pennies and see if a tail swipes down and picks you up on a capitulation process. Until then, this could be considered a double bottom, but we do need to see this turn up, and we do need to start to see the Bollinger Band turn back around. So until that happens, we are still bearish with a slight bull flag, as right here could be considered, a wedge or a bull flag, which are still bullish consolidation periods. So it needs to break out over this 15-cent level, work its way up over the ATR around 19 cents to 20 cents, and squeeze up. It was making a nice inverse head and shoulders a couple days ago, but since Bitcoin sold off and there's no real volume, it didn't play out. My last video, I was looking at an inverse head and shoulders, but as all technical analysis, you have to keep up with it as things do change in the charts, as price levels hit and change. So we do just got to keep up to date. I do see some buying here, and there was heavy volume here, but then I think just since Bitcoin has been selling off, everybody has just been kind of getting out and going back to Tether or cash. So look for those levels to play out in ADA, and I'm going to do one more that I think has been holding up quite well considering the way this market, and what we're looking at, let me just erase that line, is EOS platform. I do hold a position in this as I bought that reversal tail around the 430 to 440 area. I saw this tail and I bought. I'm still holding as the daily ATR is bullish, is looking more bullish than a lot of these. We are kind of trading on the midline bully. I did put this channel uptrend as everything has been selling off, and these kind of have been holding around the $6 price level. It did go as far as $7, and it's kind of making a bull flag, which looks pretty nice. I'll do the 4-hour too so you can see it. But this is the bull flag I'm talking about. So as long as these levels hold, we would like to see this break out in the next day or two and pop up and start working its way up to this $8 level, which is a pretty big possibility. Selling volume is declining, but also buying volume is declining, so we do have to keep our eye on that. Let me go to the 4-hour, but this has been pretty stable as long as it doesn't do a pattern like this, like how this is, and kind of look like a flag, kind of pop up and then sell down. So if it pops up here to the 688 and then sells through this line, that would be no good. It does look bullish, but we are on this uptrend support level, as you can see on the daily. So it did get back above that, and it's kind of holding around there. So in my opinion, this is bullish as of now. Does look like a bull flag consolidation wedge type channel that needs to break out here. It was looking a little bit bearish the other day when it popped back down below this red uptrend line. Let me go to the 4 hour, as this will be the last one I do for today. Look on the 4 hour, you can see a lot of buying has been taking place right here, a lot of buy volume. So I mean, it propelled it up here, and you know, as everything's just been selling off like 10%, this one's actually up on the day. So you know, really look at EOS. And if this flag breaks out, you know, around, let's say $6.31, and then actually breaks the top of this flag around $7.31, that would be a great sign for EOS. We just don't want to see it fall down. Volume is thinning, but I mean, there's more buy volume than sell volume in this crypto. So as long as this doesn't turn into kind of like a bear flag and break down through the ATR stop, the daily stop, which is around $5.40 to $5.20. If it goes lower than that, then you're going to see it go and retest the $3.65 level. So look for those levels on EOS, as I do feel this has been a strong crypto currency, especially with everything that's been going on with Bitcoin, and you know, just everything that's been selling off, like LITECOIN and ETHERIUM, a lot of the majors. And just like stocks, I believe a lot of these cryptos follow the majors. So so we got to keep our eye on that, as I think EOS is kind of departing from everything and kind of creating its own rhythm. You could also see in this 4 hour chart that this could be considered a left, a head, and a right shoulder. So do we break out and go test these $8.50 level? We could definitely go and test those in the coming days. So if this bull flag, let me erase that line. If this bull flag plays out for EOS, then definitely look for $8.50, and then also a retest of that $9 to $10, probably $10 level, let's say. So look for those. If it does want to break down and hit a double bottom around $3.65, that is possible too. And then we could look at some other support levels as far as $1.30 to $2, and then here's the level of support right around there, around $3.50. So the next level would be $2.13, and then $1.50 going lower. So, but it does look bullish, and it is kind of departing from everything else, and it's on its own agenda, in my opinion. Especially my portfolio has been looking atrocious for even from these dip buys that I've been doing just in the last couple days. It still is not, you know, looking as good as I wish it would. But I do have faith in the cryptocurrency, and I do believe in it. And this is not my first show, so I'm a holder and I'm a buyer of dips, and I will succeed here very soon when we start to uptrend on these sold off levels. So check out EOS and look to buy the levels that I've showed you in this video. And if you like my video and you agree with me, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel, as I'm trying to build this channel up to help you guys with 10 years of technical analysis levels that I find on the charts to be very valuable. So give it a like if you like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks guys for taking the time and checking me out.